designer
and... how much should I talk? Like, what length are you looking for?
So, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. My name is Jesper, and I've now been in the project in CFS for around 2 years. I started with my bachelor thesis here, where I kind of simulated the cooling system of the car, but also the complete driveline to get a good estimate kind of on how the car looks, so we can use that one before we actually start changing components in the car. And then I moved on to become a project engineer last year, where I was in the Powertrain system. I mainly worked with the battery at the time, so I developed the new battery for the CFS 23 car, together with a lot of other people, of course. My backgrounds are, I come from the bachelor thesis of, or not bachelor thesis, the bachelor program of physics here at Chalmers. And now I'm studying mobility engineering, but I'm mostly taking courses from electromobility, so towards the electric machine type of stuff. But who am I? I've been working or liking cars my whole life, basically. So from when I was a little kid, my dad always kind of taught me how to work with the different cars and motorcycles and so on that we always had at home. So once I came here to Chalmers, it kind of was a natural move to finally find the CFS project. Even though this is an electric drivetrain and not a combustion one that I'm used to, it's still a very nice challenge.
And what is your typical workday as a manager at CFS like?
Oh, as a manager, I must say it differs a lot from what it was when I was a project engineer. So nowadays I have meetings all the time. It's basically meetings from 8 o'clock in the morning to 17, 18 and so on in the night or evening. But I don't know. It's a lot of planning. I do not anymore kind of CAD and actually solve problems and so on. I just help all the project engineers within my subgroup to move towards our common goal. So I'm not into that much of a technical design anymore, which I was during the project engineering year. And now I'm more kind of helping other people towards it, of course, through a lot of meetings and so on.
What do you like the most about your subgroup?
Oh, about Powertrain. Of course, as I said before, I've been working with Powertrain a lot in my life so far, mostly internal combustion engines and so on, of course. So now electric drivetrains was kind of new for me when I started at Chalmers and also here at Chalmers Formula Student. But I must say, what intrigues me the most is that, of course, all components in the car are needed to make it work. But it feels like kind of the drivetrain, the powertrain of the car is the heart that actually makes it go forward, that actually decides the performance or large parts of the performance in the end. I don't want to butcher any of the other subgroups. Of course, they are equally important. But it feels like, in my heart, it feels like Powertrain is one of the most important to actually make the car run very fast. But other than that, it's a lot of technical issues and a lot of technical problems that you have to solve. Because you can go very, very far in depth when it comes to how to design motors and batteries and so on. It's a lot of safety you have to think about, a lot of performance and manufacturability and cost and so on. You have all the aspects within drivetrain. It's both electrical and mechanical knowledge. It kind of combines everything. And me, as I come from a physics background, I kind of have my arms into everything. I kind of scratch the surface of everything. So Powertrain is where I can actually utilize almost everything that I've learned so far.
Which of the different phases during your year do you think was the most fun?
I think all of the phases were new stuff for me that I hadn't done before. So it's going to be hard to say which one was the most fun, but I really enjoyed designing, because that's kind of where you have the creative freedom of actually taking your thoughts and making it into something real on the computer then in the form of CAD. So that was very rewarding for me to completely see the kind of car growing and growing inside of the car every day from work that you've done yourself, and where you can actually for the first time for real have some theory and practice. Usually from where I come, it's we calculate a lot of stuff and so on, but we never really see where it ends up. So this is one of those projects where you actually, in the end, could see what happened. Manufacturing phase was very fun as well. I love working with my hands, so that was a period where I had a really, it wasn't that tough to get here because I enjoyed just what I did working with manufacturing and so on. But I think the most rewarding one, where I learned the absolute most, was during testing and competition season. I was part of the ESO team, so I, together with 5 other people, I think, were the ones responsible to make sure that the car was safe to other ones to work with when it comes to high voltage. So there I had to learn a lot about, well, basically how electronics works, that I have some, I wasn't too good at it before, but I think I've learned a lot. So that since there was such a high pressure that if you do something wrong, it might be very, very dangerous for someone else or for the drivers and so on, it kind of pressured me into learning a lot. And I think I enjoy gathering knowledge in many senses. So that's probably where I had the most fun.
Could you describe a bit more about what you have learned during your time in CFS?
Yeah. First and foremost, I think I've learned to work in a very large group in another way that I hadn't done before. We are almost 50 members, at least we were last year. And together we come from a lot of different internationalities and different cultures and so on, but have to come together and work towards a common goal. And that is very tough with a lot of people because we think differently, we are different individuals, but somehow to be one of the forces trying to put that group together learned me a lot about how different individuals works and also how to make a group work together. It's way tougher than just having the ordinary 3 people or 4 people and so on working on presentations together. So I learned a lot there. Of course, I found a lot of technical knowledge that I hadn't touched before. Electric drive trains, as I mentioned, was kind of something fairly new to me. So I've learned a lot of technical data and technical kind of aspects of how a car works in general. It's a very special type of car as well, so you kind of really get to see the high performance world of the car industry as well. Well, I've met a lot of friends. I guess I don't know if that counts as learning, but I've certainly met a lot of other types of friends that I didn't have before, that have different kind of expertises and different kind of thoughts on life and so on. So they have given me a lot throughout the project as well. I've learned a lot about myself. Since it's a project with a lot of pressure, you kind of put a high pressure on yourself. So I kind of learned my limits a bit more, from how much I can actually work without burning myself out and so on. How much do I need to sleep? How much do I need to eat and so on to actually function perfectly? It's kind of hard to find that limit if you don't push yourself towards it. And I think this project was a very good force for that.
In your opinion, why should someone apply for CFS?
It's a lovely project. I mean, the absolute biggest reason you should be in this project is that it's one of the few places on earth where you actually can take your ideas. You sit in the beginning of the project with a pen and paper. You write down everything that you have in your head. You make that actually happen inside of CAD. Then you are the same person taking your design and manufacturing it with your own hands. And once you've manufactured it, you are the same person once again that get to test it and go to competitions. So you are actually one part of the whole system. You get to see where it starts, where it continues, and where it ends. And if you compare that to a lot of other large factories and industries and so on, you're usually just a small little cog in the full system. You get something that you're supposed to work with and then you send it away, but you never really know where it came from or where it goes. And I think that in this project you really get to see the whole system, and it's something you should utilize. So that's why one very, very big reason why you should apply. And it's a lot of fun. It's a very, very big reward in the end when you get to go to competitions. So I think that it's a very good way to kind of realize the dreams of making something happen, because you really get to see that I was a big part of a very, very big thing. And I think that's kind of hard to find somewhere else. Yeah. And you make a lot of friends. A lot of friends from different internationalities and cultures and so on that you maybe haven't touched on before. So that's very nice.
What is a core memory from CFS?
Oh, it has to be definitely running up to that podium in FSG, because we actually were unsure during the award ceremony whether or not we had won. We knew that there was a lot of teams up there in the top 3 and so on, and we didn't really know in what order we were. So until the actually last very second, where they said our last number of the car, that was the first time we realized that we had won the Driverless Cup of Formula Student Germany. It's one of the most prestigious competitions in the world in this type of project. So actually getting to run up there, it was so many emotions that just erupted. I think there's a good picture as well of kind of how I felt during the time. So you can see me in pink watermelon bath shorts standing screaming my lungs out at that podium. I think we can have a picture of it here or something. Yeah, that's perfect. That was a very, very like a core moment. That was really where the final reward kind of came from all the hard work that we did during the year. Another kind of highlight, it was a lot of ups and downs and so on, was handing in the SES. So in the end, it got a bit hectic for us. We sat basically 72 hours in a row down in our workshop and kind of trying to finish it. We were a couple of dear friends working together, and I have a very good connection with them today. So that kind of hard mentality we needed right there kind of gave us some good bonds. So that's a very good. That's a thing I will never forget, at least from the year. But I must say that probably the competitions is what set the biggest mark on me. Yeah.
And what are your tips for CFS 24?
I mean, enjoy the moment. It ends very, very quickly. You're already half through the project, and I think the second half of the project moves even faster. So enjoy what you have, and don't work too much. Make sure to sleep and eat and so on, and actually meet some other friends and so on outside of the project as well. But take care of the time. Enjoy what you're doing right now, and realize that you're not only here for the result, but that you're actually here to learn during the progress and have a fun time. It's very easy in this project to always be very stressed because you know that I'm working because it has to be done for that, instead of thinking I'm working because this is fun to do. And if you just have the mindset of I'm just going to start because it's very fun to do this right now, whether it's film simulations or working in Altium or grinding down aero parts or whatever it could be, just enjoy the moment and realize that it's actually fun to do it, instead of just looking at it as this is something that has to be done. Because that's kind of something that removes the fun out of it. That's probably my biggest tip. What else is there? Buy some kind of food that you can have in the workshop, so you can easily kind of cook food at the workshop during the nights and so on. Because often you have to stay longer than you thought, and then it's very good to have something to eat. It's better than skipping eating.
Do you have a staple food that you could tell us?
There is something, I wouldn't say I cooked it. It's a pre-meal, it's frozen, called Karin's lasagna. It was a very, very nice go-to for me. 30 crowns on Willys for, I think it's 1200 calories or whatever, if you buy 2. So that was something I ate a lot of them. I think I ate way too many. I still love them though.
Well, I think that was everything. Thank you very much.
Thank you for letting me in. Thank you.